What's up, everybody? This is Donte Savage, CEO of ProLinked, and you're listening to the ProLinked podcast, the show that connects the sports industry all around the world. How you guys doing? This is Donte Savage for the ProLinked podcast. I'm your host, the founder and CEO of ProLinked. It's a startup, a social media app that I'm working on that's going to connect athletes, sports professionals, and other people in the sports industry on a worldwide scale. What our app does is connects athletes with the right coaches all around the world in multiple sports, and help the coaches pick the right players for their team through our algorithm that we're working on as well. But this is my first episode of the podcast, and I'm just happy to share the sports information with you. And also, we're going to be talking about business, life after sports, and just everything that goes on in the sports industry that the youth needs to know, and just young adults need to know before they dive in, because it's a lot of sharks out there. So I'm gonna help you with that, because I've been through that, and I've been through the whole thing when it comes to the sports industry ever since I was little. So thank you for tuning in, and I'm gonna get started right now. Well, like I said, my name is Donte Savage. Originally from Portland, Oregon. Born and raised. Actually, my family's been here since the 40s. So there's a little town called Vanport, Portland, right between Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. Now it's called Jensen Beach, for everybody that wants to know. But I just wanted to tell my story, how I got started in sports, and just my early life, middle life, and life right now, and just how I got ProLinked started, and just all the trials and tribulations that I had to go through. So when we get started right now, I'm 32 years old at the moment, but I was born here in 1989, born in Portland, Oregon. Went to Fabian Elementary, Jefferson High School, Whitaker Middle School, Ockley Green. So I'm a local guy. So it's I appreciate all the love out here. But from a young age, it was a lot of things that went on in my life, as far as family life, and that actually got me to this point, and had to take a different route because of a lot of things. I think the sports helped me, keep my mind straight and keep my mind on right, because when I was younger, had a mom and dad. Shout out to my father, rest in peace, Albert Savage. My mom is still alive. Actually, you could check her at Jada Soulful Eats. We have she has a restaurant as well out here. But the early life, how I got started in sports, man. Actually, my dad installed it into me. Just helped me keep my mind clear and just do everything right. We just started playing football in the backyard. First jersey was a Seattle Seahawks jersey, and he kind of groomed me to be a football player. But I just love the game. Some of my favorite players was like Dick Buckus. I always wanted to play linebacker, and when I was growing up, a lot of things wasn't perfect. Family struggling, things like that. Trying to pay bills. A lot of things. My mom, she worked at Bonneville Power. She locally, and my father was like construction worker. He worked odd jobs here and there, but one thing he installed with me is to be a grown man and stand on your word. Some of the things he didn't do was right. He dealt with his personal battles with drug abuse and things like that. So I got to see a lot of things that a normal kid shouldn't see, during that time. But during that time, I didn't spend a lot of time in the house. I spent a lot of time outside, just by myself, playing sports, going over to my friend's house. So, during that time, I used to play tennis, play lacrosse, play football, play basketball, everything, man. Just keep my mind clear and keep everything out. Just to keep, because the home life was real rough at the time. So, like it was a learning curve because, like I didn't have everything. My parents provided everything that we needed, not what we wanted. So it made me work hard to get what I wanted. Especially when you get older, because when you're a kid, mom and dad they buying your clothes, so it's kind of like you just got to take what they give you. So I wasn't the kid with the nice shoes and the nice clothes and whatnot. But like they made it work. I'm happy that it's turned out that way because I see a lot of people that I grew up with are just seen in the real world that come from wealthy families, but they're not doing as good because they never had that structure. But yeah, but like I said, man, when I started playing football, I was around like 7 years old. I played football for Whitaker Middle School. Whitaker, Pop Warner, Coach Miller was my coach, uh, and that's how I got started. I remember I was in the third grade, but I was bigger than all the kids, so like they used to let me play, and they used to let me play, and I had to play. I couldn't play in the regular first and fourth quarter, so I used to have a quarter called the fifth quarter for all the kids that didn't play because I wasn't really good at football, but I loved the game, and just I knew that I could play the game. So like I remember I used to get my stripes playing in the fifth quarter and whatnot, and then next year I was playing O lineman. I used to play center, and then they found out I could play defense, and that's when I found out I could play middle linebacker. And that was fun actually because you get to run, hit. I enjoyed it. Like it was just so fun. Like just a big smile on my face everywhere I go. A positive kid, just always. Like everybody like, man, I like Donte because he always keep a smile on his face. He just bright up the room. See me smiling all the time because like I was going through a lot. At that time. In the house, but sports kept me focused. It kept me on the right track. Like it didn't let me slip because I had coaches and people in the community that cared for me and wanted me to see me do good because they knew what type of person I was. I wasn't a bad kid, just just needed some direction. So like I did that. Played football. All through middle school, and then when I got to high school, it's it got a little tricky because like I started taking football actually more serious. Football was cool because like I was like, man, I could go to college, man, I could do this, I could do that. I see everything on TV, the glitz and glam, but you got to put in that work to get it. So like I was like, man, I'm going to X, Y, and Z. I want to go to University of Miami or I want to go to Miami or Michigan. Those are my schools that I wanted to go to. So like during that time, I was working my butt off in the gym, running, and like I had my dad introduced me to weights when I was in the sixth grade. So like that's what got me into lifting weights and getting right. But during high school, a trainer of mine, rest in peace, Neil Blasingame. Like if you're from Portland, he Blast. Everybody know him by Blast. But yeah, he's the one that helped me, get to the next level, help me train, and help me on my bench press, my running. He was right there with me. We used to go out there 9 o'clock at night, go run up by Jeff. My coach used to turn the lights on for me at nighttime, so I could get some work in. But that's what I used to do, like do the things that nobody else wanted to do. I didn't party like that. Like sometimes I didn't go to the basketball games. I didn't go to all the events where it's cracking because like I was so focused and driven on my passion. So I knew at a younger age that I had to separate myself from all the nonsense because it was a lot of gang violence and shootings and things like that I didn't need to be a part of. So like I'm glad that I didn't do that. But like during high school, my first freshman year, sophomore year, it's just I'm playing football. I'm on the team. They seen the potential. And I actually my junior year, that's when I started playing varsity, and like I got ready for the season. I was pumped up, and then the first year I got first team all PIL. I got all state honorable mention my senior and my junior year. I also got first team, got invited to the Les Schwab Bowl. Um, got invited to the Les Schwab Bowl out here in Portland on the North team. So we won the North and won the Les Schwab Bowl and everything like that. I had scholarships from a lot of different teams like Nebraska, Oregon State, a little interest from like UW, some teams all around the country my junior year. But it was like a big turn because the head coach left and he all his connections left with him. So my senior year, I had to start off ground one. So I had to basically start all over again. And my senior year was good, but like the interest in schools fell off. So I had a offer from a D3 school called South out there in Medford, Oregon, and I went out there for a visit and I hated it. It was like I did not like it at all. I was like, man, what the hell is this? Like I was just sitting in the house, we was in a little town, and it was just I don't know, it just wasn't the right fit, wasn't the right feel. It was just kind of like it was a lot of it was very discouraging. But like I knew I was better than that. So basically, what I did, I took my life in my own hands because a lot of teams like they didn't want to touch me because I didn't pass the NCAA and the clearinghouse and the SAT, and like I really wasn't in school. I wasn't really into school. I was just want to play ball and do what I got to do, to make it to the NFL. But like that was a learning curve for me because it told me school is important and it has to come first before you get on the field, because if you ain't got the grades, you can't go to school and then you can't get that scholarship. So, what I did was my senior year, I asked my coach, my basketball coach, actually, Mr. Haskins. So I was sitting in the college center up at Jeff, and I was like, man, like, I asked him, I said, hey, coach, do they have prep schools for football players? And he looked at me, he was like, yeah, they do. And so I did my research. I went on Max Preps and, did the thing like everybody else did, because this is before, you had social media. So, like, if you want to send your film out, you have to make like 30, 40 DVDs and mail them out individually. So what I did was, pick the top 10 prep schools, and I sent film out, and only 3 of them called back. And it was Fort Union Military, Hargrave, and it was another school in Pennsylvania. But on a whim, my mom, she flew me out there she came out there with me to Virginia. And it's in a little town called Fort Union, Virginia. I went there. I was the only dude from the West Coast. And like that's when I got introduced to real football and like how football supposed to be played. Because, on the West Coast, they kind of like finesse things. Like out there is just smash mouth. So I went down there, held my own, did what I had to do. And, right after the camp, I got offered a scholarship to go to Fort Union Military Academy. So, like they sent me the paperwork when I came back home. I remember the day when it came in, my mom was like, you sure you want to go here? And I was like, yeah. She was like, because once I sign this paper, it's over with. Like, you ain't coming back home. I was like, all right, man, I ain't coming back home. All right, cool. So, like I trained all that summer, got right, man. Like I got there, I remember I had my bag, just green, just coming out the house green. It was just kind of like, oh yeah. So boom. So I'll hop out, get off the plane. It's like 100 degrees, 100% humidity. I'm sitting here like, man, what the hell is this? Because, East Coast weather is different. So this is my first time away from home. And I was the first time away from home, way on the East Coast on the other side of the country. So I said, all right, cool. So we get there, we driving through Richmond, and we drive up to the school. Like, man, it's so hot. Like, they was like, yeah, you can't wear your regular clothes. You gotta switch off into the school uniform. So I was like, all right, cool. So the whole summertime we having camp. Nobody else is on the campus except me and all the other guys on the team. So I'm thinking like it's gonna be normal like this. So, like I remember that first day of camp. Actually, that was the hardest camp I've been in. First day of camp was the hardest day of my life. Like we had 3 full pad practices, and in one day, and we did that for 30 days straight. So it was kind of like some Bear Bryant type camp, man. We had dudes running away, like literally at nighttime, pack their bags and catch a cab and try to get to the airport. It was just a rough time for some people. Some people couldn't handle it. I remember I almost broke the third day. Coach was like, "You sure you won't go?" I was like, "Nah, man, I ain't gonna go. Like, I'm better than that." He was like, "Good job." So shout out to Coach Schumann too. Coach Schumann, yeah, John Schumann up at Fort Union Military. So he admired me because I was his first player ever from the West Coast. So like he really don't recruit from the West Coast because he think we all soft. So hey man, all y'all players from the West Coast, man, like hey, if you go to the East Coast, man, you gotta show up and show out because the game's a lot different, man. The boys is big out there, man. So you gotta hold your own. So that's what I did and just held my own and went through the lumps. I went through the ups and downs of being in military school, learning how to march and do the drill, waxing floors, shining shoes, freaking making beds with the four corners, all that stuff. So yeah, I had to do all that. Wear the slacks every morning, marching to breakfast, 5 a.m. We had to do all that. Plus, we had to go to school and we had to go to practice. So it was a good thing. But I learned a lot, met a lot of friends at Fort Union. And, I had a lot of friends that left early because they passed the SAT before me. So I was kind of like, boom. So like when I left Fort Union at the end of the year, it was a month before we was gonna graduate in April. I get a call from New Mexico State. It was like, hey man, you wanna come down here on an unofficial visit? I went down there. They found out that I passed the SAT and got the clearinghouse and got my grades straight. They offered me a scholarship right on the spot, full ride for 4 years, man. So like I got my opportunity to play in the WAC conference. Thank you to Hal Mummy and the whole coaching staff there during that time. And it was crazy because I redshirted for the first 3 games, and then I played as a true freshman. And then after that, sky was the limit. Then I played 3 years, a 3-year starter. Never took a playoff. And then after that, like I went through some trouble, with the girls and living the lifestyle and things like that. I had to redshirt, get my grades back, and I just became a beast and stayed focused and got my mind right on the sports. And a year later, I got picked up by the Green Bay Packers, and that didn't last long. It only lasted for probably about 4 months, but it was a good 4 months, And then after that, it was like 4 years of ups and downs, and it's a roller coaster because when you're in the sports industry, it's a roller coaster. Every day is different. You don't know what's gonna happen. They want you next week, and then next time they don't want you. That's just how the business is. So if you got to have good representation and just a good support system to get to that next level and just keep moving forward. But after that, I moved to Vegas. Just to get my mind clear, move with my sisters, there's a lot of things I can't speak on, but it made me a lot stronger. Just mentally wise, because it was just kind of like I was in a rough state, depression. Just keep working out. Like I was working 2 jobs, didn't have a car. And it's hot in Vegas, so people already know how it is out there. So I was training, working 2 jobs. Have my little 1-bedroom apartment. I didn't even have an apartment. It was just a room. I was just renting out a room and just had to, handle my business. But, during that time, I came up with the idea, of ProLink when I was, I was sitting on the couch with my nephew. Shout out to Trey Viante, and he was like, hey, man, like your idea is a good idea. And I was like, yeah, man. So, like, I just locked myself in my room and just started just going in, finding connections, made a LinkedIn, like just talking to coaches out there in Europe, Germany, just all over the world, just in all sports. And, like they like my idea. And like, I'm a big soccer fan. So like I wanted to start off with soccer first because it was a world sport. And so like I came up with the idea and, I just kept pushing it. Then like a year later, I met my wife, Naomi. She was helping me during that time, like still playing football and doing the stepdaddy thing, and like I wasn't a stepfather at first, but like she had kids and all that, so it was a big learning curve for me. But I was 25, so like during that time my father passed, and that was a big thing for me because it was kind of like he was my rock, like we had a good relationship, and like he always talked to me when things got down, and just like every son or every man always, a lot of men had that father figure in their life that passed away or something like that they always call on. So like he was it. So you know, short story, like I kept moving on. I got married, had two kids. Shout out to my kids, Marley, Brooklyn, Paris. Also, my little man, Kingston Savage. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I have kids now, and like I just kept moving with ProLink, and I found some good partners. That helped me through that. I went to a couple startup conventions and all that stuff. So, I got the experience of speaking in big crowds. In a different light. Being a founder and a CEO is different. So, like I had to do that. So basically, all through that time, it was kind of hard to let people see my vision because they didn't understand it. And during that time, it was like, there's no need for this, blase, blase. And then the pandemic happened. They kind of like, oh, shoot, actually, we do need this. I seen the vision before it even happened. So I just had to, just kept pushing forward. And, after when the pandemic hit, I moved back to Portland. My mom actually started a food cart because before, when I was in college, we used to have a food cart called Jada's Desserts. A lot of people in Portland used to know us because we used to sell cupcakes. A little spot called Christopher's right there on Martin Luther King Boulevard, and that's how we get started. And how I got started, just selling cupcakes to all the barbershops and all the people in the community. So that's how I got started. Sales, talking to people, like getting people to come to the shop, and we also used to be at the Saturday market too. So like that's how I got started. But short story is make a long story short. What I started working at the cart, like just being the manager and helping, doing the everyday logistics, cooking the food, making sure the money right, everything. So, like 2 years after that, now we opened up another location, and now I own one of the locations now. And like I work for myself now. So, things come in blessings come in different ways. So, that was a blessing for me and my family, but also, ProLinked as well, because, I connected with a lot more people. Now I own patent, like we created an algorithm, like we just got everything. Everything is coming in the right place. And, now we got a podcast. So, like it's a lot of things that it's going to help this brand grow bigger, especially with the podcast, bringing on people that works in the sports industry, and also just giving everybody the game how to maneuver through this sports industry, because sometimes it can get rough, because of the ups and downs, and a lot of athletes that played it all their life, and all of a sudden they stop playing, they don't know what to do. So ProLink is a good it's going to be a good app to help you with that, to find your journey. But there's going to be opportunities all over the world, job postings, things like that, just so people could stick around the game. Because some people, like, they might not want to play, but they might want to still be in the mix. So it's a good way to keep that going. So that's why ProLink was so important to me, because like I knew I wanted to be in the sports industry, but I also wanted to still be in the mix. So that's the biggest thing, and showing the kids and showing the youth how to maneuver through it, because a lot of things I had to learn on my own, bump my head a few times, but like I just had to figure it out. So it was a good experience. So like now, I own the restaurant. I have a startup company. What else? I stream video games, promoting a company. If you guys ever get on Twitch, D Savage PDX. Actually, all my social links are going to be in the bio for this episode. So you guys come check it out, follow. I'll play different kind of games. If you guys got questions, ask, and that's what I do. So, now my next adventure is being the host of a podcast. And, it's good. It's good for me, a good outlet, just to talk to some friends and just other professionals, and we can get it cracking on here, man. And, hopefully it can change somebody's life, that's what I'm all about, man. Helping the youth grow. Cause somebody that was the people that helped me get to this point, helped me stay out of trouble, helped me make sure my head was on straight. And so, all the life experiences that I went through, it's a lot of things that I haven't even talked about on here, but in the future, we're going to talk about some more things, and, we can relate them to sports and just life. And, that's what you learn, a lot of lessons in sports. And when it correlates to life, you just think back of what you learned when your coach used to tell you, what not to do this and do that. So, you just got to take heed, pay attention to everything that he say, man, and get everything cracking, man. Because the thing about it is, man, after sports, man, you do have a life. Everything's going to get better. You just can't give up on yourself, because, a lot of kids, they deal with suicide. They deal with, PTSD and what's this stuff in the NFL. I forgot the thing in your brain where they say your brain is bruised and all that. So, you just got to stay healthy, keep your mind clear, do what you need to do that works for you. Don't do nothing that somebody else wants you to do, because, you're not going to be, motivated to do it. So, you just got to, stay positive. It's all in the mind. You got to have a positive mind frame, even when things is looking bad, because that's the worst. Because I know sometimes it's shit looking bad, and then you just be like, dang, man, what do I need to do? But the thing about it is, you just got to, stand on 10 toes and figure it out, man, because that's the only way. But once you get to that point, things is going to get better, because people going to see your work ethic and going to see you doing positive things, and just see you keep pushing, seeing your effort. So you just going to attract the right people into your life. Forget all the clubs, forget all the girls, forget, and vice versa for all the female athletes there too. I'm talking to you too. So, sometimes y'all want to kick it too. So, it's gotta keep your mind clear, keep your mind clear, do what you do, have fun, but just take care of your business first. But, like I said, man, just stay positive, stay active, don't give up on yourself. If you feeling like you going through depression or mental, anything as far as mentally, man, talk out, reach out to somebody. A lot of people don't understand what you're going through because they don't know the industry. But once you find those people that do care, they'll help you get to the right place and what you need to do, because they see that you doing something right. But man, I just, enjoy everything that you guys, this opportunity, shout out to, the podcast group, GMP, for letting me come on here today, and just, and speak my truth, and, believing in me as well too, man, and just giving me this opportunity to come on here and talk to you guys and get host and just, spit this game and learn this knowledge. Today, episode is going to be short because it's about me. But, in the future, they're going to be an hour long. So we're going to have a lot more to talk about, a lot more conversation pieces and just everything. So, man, check out for the new episode. We're going to be speaking about that. But I definitely enjoy you guys for coming here and just talking with me and listening and just, just kicking it. And I hope you guys take heed to this, especially you young guys and young ladies out there, man. Just stay positive, keep your head up, man. Everything gonna be all right, even if that coach, even if that school stop talking to you, man. There's 119 more schools left, man. So even the pro players, if you guys didn't get picked for the NBA, you got opportunities overseas, man. So there's opportunities all over the world. So don't limit yourself, and just keep grinding, stay focused, and do what you got to do, man. And that's what ProLink is going to do. The app is going to help you guys get these opportunities and connect with all these coaches all around the world so you can get back on the field and do what you guys love to do. But I'll talk to y'all later. And, peace, love, and happiness to all y'all, man. Take it easy. You have listened to the ProLinked podcast with your host, Donte Savage. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and check out our sports memorabilia and merchandise on shopprolink.com. Thanks for listening.